what do you think other nations are thinking? And you can just pick a couple nations. You talk about allies, however you want to take this question. What do you think other nations are thinking when they're looking at how the Biden administration is handling the Afghanistan withdrawal right now?
Well, I think we can. It's a very good question. And I think we can look at what they're looking at both in Afghanistan and outside. So I think one thing that especially our allies will be interested to see is whether we actually follow through on what the Biden administration said. Now, yes, the Taliban are suspicious about it. Our adversaries and our enemies are suspicious about it. But I think it's more important, now that we have said we are doing this, everyone will be seeing whether the Biden administration does what it says it's going to do. Particularly in a situation like this where everyone anticipates we're not going to do what we say we're going to do. So I think in terms of that sort of amorphous concept of American credibility, we'll be damaged if we don't follow through. On the other hand, as I keep saying, right, that I think our moral credibility is damaged by getting out in the wrong way. But so I think that that's important in one way. But I think that once we leave, the other thing that's going to happen is there will be, once we leave and the sort of American presence is sort of politically toxic internally, we'll see a bit of a scramble for concessions on natural resources, right? One thing that is different is that the natural resources from the past is that now the natural resources found in Afghanistan are valuable. And I'm not talking about opium, but the minerals and stuff they have, and I'm not a geologist, but my understanding is that these are things that are used in high tech. And so 25, even 35, 40 years ago, it was not valuable. They don't make as much money as they could from this because there are sanctions on Taliban, but also the ongoing violence. So I think once we leave, Russia, China, probably even UAE and other actors will move to try to at least get economic opportunity for themselves domestically. And so I think that there are states that are watching very closely in that regard. And I think it will represent to, again, assuming that we continue on the path that we're on, what I hope everyone sees in this, every state actor, is at the very least, a thoughtful, reasoned approach to policy. That is not a knee-jerk reaction to, oh, it's been 20 years, we should get out. Or we should stay forever because why would we leave? I think that the way the administration has gone through this, even having Bill Burns in his testimony talk about how he thinks that we will be less safe. But the fact that we do it anyway and listen to these different arguments, that the president thinks about them, weighs options, and follows through, will be sort of part of the broader Biden administration that we're back. It's ironic, right? Because we're leaving. But in a broader sense, I think the message it sends is that we are now engaged actively in foreign policy across a wide range of fronts in a thoughtful way with a really outstanding team.